So, hello everyone. Good day. So, today, proceed na ta sa tuang fourth session. Okay, so congratulations sa everyone, no, na nagita sa fourth session. So, gamay-gamay na lang atong panag-uban, no, kay hapit na ta mahuman sa tuang first year formation program seminar series. Okay, so today, our session, no, sa tuang fourth session, we will talk about study habits. So, for the last meeting, so sa last session na to, we discussed about time management and goal setting. So, I hope so nga everyone, no, nakaset na og goal. No, nanakay na set na goal from long range goal, mid-term goal, and immediate goal. So, with that, no, I hope so nga na-visualize na ninyo, no, nakita na ninyo ang inyong goal, no, kung sa may goal ninyo sa inyong mga kinabuhi. Okay? So, one of the, I know that most common sa inyong mga goal dito is that makagraduate, makahuman og eskwela. No, di ba? Mao na ang inyong kadalasan nga mga goal nga ginabutang dito. Okay. So para maabot nato nga goal, so with this fourth session, so we will talk about study habits. And also sa inyong last session, sa session 3, we talk about time management. No? Time management in which to-do list sa mga activities nga naay corresponded nga time. So, now we will talk about study habits. Okay? So, how to study effectively? So, according kay Jhanny S, a psychologist, cramming or studying longer is not an effective study habit, but instead, study smarter is. So, studying something that it is necessary, but this is something that is not forced. So, ang pag-study is that kailangan siya. Pero dili pud nato siya pwede nga i-force, nga pugson. Okay? Now, how you approach studying matters. Having the right mindset in studying is very significant. Of course, when something's picking up in the corner of your thoughts, like your love life issues, health issues, financial issues, or even beating deadlines. So, how you approach studying matters. It would be very difficult to concentrate over a heartbreak or a headache, right? So, avoid thinking disagreeable thoughts that could lead to be disadvantageous for our proper mindset on this matter. So, ika nga, if you approach studying matters, have the right mindset. Okay? So, where you study is important. Most of the students would say that they prefer to study with groups, anywhere, to any designated tambayan. It seems that most would prefer studying in parks, cafeterias, while watching their favorite K-drama or Netflix series, or even while hanging out with classmates. Mao ni kadalasan ng atong mga rason sa atong mga ginikanan. Mana may group study. Maadto sa amin sa ilaha tampulan, maadto sa amin sa ako ang classmate. Pero pag abot tayo dito, lahi day nga group study. No, tagay-tagay di ay, pasa-pasa di og baso. No? So, come to think of it, isn't it really a very good, conducive environment for learning? Now, okay, so introduction pa lang to siya, guys. Now, let us proceed to objectives. So, what are the objectives para aning study habit? Okay? So, first is define study habit. We will define what is study habit. Number 2, identify the skills needed for good study habit. And number 3, identify ways in developing effective study habits. Now, what is study habit? Study habit, no, is any behavior used when preparing for tests or learning academic material. So, study habit, it could be preparing for tests, no, mag-study, kay mag-prepare sa test, sa mga examination, or it could be learning academic material. If you want to learn something, learn something new, so study. Now, what are the skills good for study habit? First is the time management. Diba? Sa ito ang session 3, so we talk about time management. So, sa study habit pod, time management is very essential. Ika nga, as I have said sa inyuhang session 3 is that naagid siya sa inyuhang time management na sa inyuhang list, always included to ang study. Unsay time nimo mag-study, prefer time nimo mag-study. So time management is one of the good skills, no, para ma-develop ang imuhang study habit. Next is self-discipline, no, maugid ni siya, guys. Diri ata do naatay time management, nakabuhat na time management, but diri apud ta sa walay disiplina. Lisod kay kalabano na nga to ang sarili. Wala tay self-discipline na sahay. Yes, nakaset na, pero asapoy man mo bangon. Sakit akong mata. Daghan tag rason sa atong sarili. Lisod kayo kalabano na to ang sarili. No, wala tay disiplina. So, we need to discipline ourselves. Next is concentration. So, if mag-study ka, you should concentrate. Dili kay, ML. Ay, baby time pa rin, baby time. Next is memorization, of course. Number 5, organization. And number 6 is effort. So, pati po day sa study habit, no? Need of effort. Okay. Now, here are the developing effective study habits. So, proceed lang sa tato. So, here are the 10 ways in developing effective study habits. First is, get your mind right. Number 2, understand what works for you. Number 3, create an ideal study environment. Number 4, map out your study sessions. Number 5, review, record, and refine. Number 6, know your learning preferences or your learning styles. Number 7, know when to study. Number 8, how to study. Number 9, use your notes. And number 10, join a study group online. Now, for number 1, get your mind right. Understand why. No? Why you are learning something. Okay? Remind yourself of your unique skills and abilities. Get rid of limiting belief like I can't learn this, I'm not good on this topic, or I have a bad memory. Okay? So get your mind right. No? Why I need to study? Why I need to learn something? Okay? Ask yourself. Understand why. So maybe you need to study because approaching na ang examination, na ay quiz ugma, no? Something like that. Then, remind yourself of your unique skills and abilities. You have your own skills and abilities. So, always remind yourself. Next is, get rid of limiting beliefs. Like, I can't learn this. I'm not good on this topic. Or I have a bad memory. Sometimes, ana din ang ato ang ginabat at sa ato ang sarili, like dili mo ko kabaluan ni isaon man ni wala pa gani nimo gitistingan ng isa ka butang, naguna na ba kumbaga naguna na imong hunahuna nga dili na ko ni kaya. Stop believing that. No, believe on yourself that you can. Okay? Now, visualize yourself learning and retaining the information. Remind yourself that you can learn the information and that you will learn the information. You can and you will. Always remind that in yourself. Then, remind yourself to use the study time effectively, of course. Because useless man kayo nga to ang time management. Kung igo lang ta sa pagsulat-sulat, wala na to gigamit. Okay? Number 2, understand what works for you. Okay? This question will maximize your study potential. How many hours do you currently set aside for studying every week? So, pila man ka oras ang imong ginagahin matag semana sa imong pag-study? 1 hour lang ba? 30 minutes lang ba? Next is your area conducive to learning? Next, do you need more time to study? So, evaluate yourself. Evaluate yourself. What environment you have? Is that a conducive learning? Conducive environment for learning ba siya? Is it free from distraction? Free from noise? Then, need pa ba nimo mag-study or more time to study? No, as you can evaluate yourself from your quizzes, from your examination, unsa bay mga lackings, unsa bay kulang, need pa ba nimo time para mas need pa ba nimo more time to study para mas ma-develop nimo ang imuhang learning? So where do you do normal study? So asa man ka normally nag-study? Do you learn better with background music or absolute silence? Because na mga tao nga mas maka-learn sila kung naay background music. Or napoy mga tao nga di jud ganahan og saba. Gusto nila absolute silence, mingaw lang jud. So you need to understand what works for you. And what is your study environment normally like? Is it daghang bag tao? Crowded? No, understand what works for you. Now, number 3, create an ideal study environment. So, always remember that a good study environment should be, a good study environment should be, number 1, located in a quiet place with sufficient lighting. So, a good study environment is that quiet place, mingaw, with sufficient lighting, dili ngit-ngit. Next, filled with right tools like pens, paper, notebook, and etc. So, a good study environment is that puno daw og mga tools like pens, paper, notebook, etc. Sa pa ba? Like pagkaon, no? Need ako mag-study ko kay magkaon. Cellphone, need ba? Of course. Laptop. Okay? Next is an environment should be free from personal intrusion like family and friends. So kay isa na sila ka distraction kay na sila, no? Then free from distractions like cell phone and social networking. Okay, but this time of pandemic nga in which online kadalasan, so need po nato og cellphone. But gamito nato ang cellphone from research sa Google, not social networking like TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, or any mga social media. No, use your phone in an effective matter like research sa Google. Dili pod PH ha, basig ang i-search pod sa Google kay PH. Okay? Joke lang na. Next is a comfortable temperature. So alangan naman portang iganga. So dili jud ka maka-focus kung init kayo. So mangita pugag ka na ang maka-focus environment nga dili pud kayo igang. And then dili pud kayo tugnaw. Next, map out your study sessions. No? Always remember that those who fail to plan to fail. Here's how to do this in 4 steps. So first is take action when time arrives. So if mag-abot ng imong oras nga ting study, then take action lihok. Dili kay lami pa matulog. Lami pa kayo ang tanaw nako sa TikTok. Nindot pa kayo ang movie. Then set alarms and reminders. So sa inyo mga cellphone naman ada mga alarm. No, set alarm and reminders. Next is set accountability. No, sabay pwede mahitabo if dili nimo buhaton. If dili ka mag-study, sabay possible nga mahitabo. So set accountability. Next, set scheduled break. So of course, ayaw pud kay gaguay inyong sarili. No nga masubraan pud ka focus. Hatagi pud og break ang imong sarili. Papahulaya sab. Next, number 5, review, record, and refine. Okay? It refers to a focus on improving your overall study technique and habits. Always keep a record of your study sessions and make sure that they are rated. Next, monitor the types of interruptions and distractions that occur during the study session and find a way to reduce them. Okay, monitor what types of interruption, what types of distractions pag mag-study ka. Is it sigpanawag akong uyab i-off sa ang kuan, i-block sa nga oras. Sige magpanawag akong uyab while mag-study ko. Usahay pud samo kaayo si mama. Usahay kay matintal ko sa TikTok. No? So identify the types of interruption para pagka next time nga sa imong study session, So, ma-avoid nimo sila, ma-reduce nimo sila. Okay? Next is know your learning preference or learning styles. Okay? So, according sa research, ang tao class is that naadoy tulo ka learning preferences. So, it should be number 1 is through hearing. Number 2 is through seeing, and number 3 is through experience. So, every student has a unique and personal learning style through which learning comes more easily. So, identify or ask yourself, asa man jud ka ani kaha? Number 1, no? Am I more inclined to remember something better when I see it? So, mas dali ba ka makahinumdum pag mata ang imuhang gamiton or kung makita nimo? Or number 2, when I hear it, kung madungog ba nimo? Or number 3, when I experience it or do something active with it. Okay, asa man ka? So ask yourself the following. Through seeing ba? Through hearing ba? Or through experience? Then, visual is referred by sight, auditory by hearing, or hands-on by doing. So, ano siya ang tulo ka learning preference or learning style. So, asa ka kadraa? Asa ka mas dali makasabot? If mag-discuss ang imuhang teacher, no? Itong way back high school ka, mas dali ba ka makasabot pag visual, pag makita nimo? Mas dali ba ka makasabot kung madungog nimo? Or mas dali ba ka makasabot kung hands-on gyud, kung buhaton nimo? Now, to improve as a visual learner, kung mas dali ka makasabot through seeing, through sight. Now, here is the tips na para ma-improve nimo as a visual learner through sight. So, number 1 is visualize what you are studying. Number 2, use color in your notes. If na kay notes, highlight. No, i-highlight mga colored pens. Number 3 is visualize what the instructor is lecturing about. Draw a picture and diagram. Use picture and graphic to reinforce learning. Or lastly is learn from videos. Now, to improve as an auditory learner, if pangdungog or hearing, no? So, number 1 is listen to tapes of recorded assignments, mga voice record. Number 2, tape record your own textbook reading. Number 3, read out loud, no? Pag mag-study ka, kusugon ni may mohang tingog. Well, magbasa ka, kusog imong tingog. Number 4, talk over ideas from class and what you are studying with other students. So, interaction with others, no, makipag-istorya ka about sa topic, or di kaya maminaw ka sa mga nag-study. Kay mas prefer man nimo ang auditory, ang hearing. Then, participate in class discussions and listen to audio tapes on the subject. Now, to improve as a hands-on learner or manipulative or through experiences, now, stand up and move around while you are studying. Take a frequent break while studying. Make use of your hands and write things down as you study. use the computer to reinforce learning, be physically active, experiment with objects, memorize or drill while walking or exercising. Now, number 7, know when to study. Know when to study. First is daily reviews. No. Study begins on the first day of class. A successful student read and review notes before each class to recall information from the previous class and to warm up for learning. Review your notes immediately after class to reinforce learning or within a 24-hour period for best recall. Repeated exposure to the material will store it in your long-term memory. So, daily reviews. No? Weekly reviews. So, at the end of the week, go over your notes for the next week, for the week. This refreshes your memory and promotes better recall of the material. Repetition is the key to remembering. The more times you look at the material, the stronger you make the neural pathways that lead to the material. This makes recall much easier. So, mas dali lang nimo siya mahinumduman the more nga ginabalik-balik nimo. Now, pre-exam reviews. These reviews are longer, from 3 to 5 hours. Break your study session into 1-hour blocks with 10-minute breaks in between. Get up, stretch, get a drink, and move around during your break. The more active you are, the more effective your study time will be. A tired body only makes a tired mind. Peak study times. Study when you are at your peak. When you are more awake and alert and able to absorb new information. So, study when you are at your peak. When you are more awake and alert. No, study. Then, if you cannot find time to study at your peak time, try to study when you are feeling relatively awake and alert. Bonus study time. Whenever you have extra time, study. Study in your car by tape recording your notes and listening to them while driving to school. Wow, social. Study whenever you find yourself having an unexpected break, a free hour, a canceled class, or etc. Sir, dili naman na uso ron. Kaya kung na may vacant time, mag-ML, mag-TikTok. No? But, in your bonus time, if you want to develop your study habits, then do it. As I have said sa mga last session na to, no, to set your priorities as a student. No, what are your priorities? TikTok ba? ML ba? Laag-laag ba? So, guys, ako ang gitudo sa inyo aron is that para po ni sa inyo hang it is for your own sake. No, para ni sa inyo ha. So, as a student, no, as a first year student, since you have the goal, no, nakay goal setting nga gibuhat. So, set your priorities. No, kay sa ako ang gituluron sa study habits is that murag alisuda na sir oy. No, lisod kaayo. Sayon sa paminawon pero lisod kay na siya buhaton. So as a student, this must be your priority. Okay? Next is nag-sermon ako, no? So just part of our reminders. Okay? Next is don't forget that weekends and evenings can also be used for studying. So pwede po ka mag-study matagabi or weekend. So that is your choice naman pag weekend. Diba kayo pag weekend, that is family time. Next, how to study. Number 8. From when to study, proceed sa how to study. So, reading and studying textbooks. Read. Read with concentration. Identify the main ideas and highlight or underline them. Okay? So, how to study nga ba? So, of course, read. Basta yun. Basta nga na ay concentration. So, if sa pagbasa nimo na kayo makita ng mga main ideas, then highlight or underline them. Next is read sections at a time and stop to ask questions. Jot down notes and ask yourself what you just read. If you can answer your question, read on. If not, look it over again. Make note of new vocabulary and write definition in your notes. Next is recite. This step requires that you can recite out loud the answer to the question you asked prior to reading a section of the next. Say it in your own words. Now, if you find you cannot answer your question, go back and look for the answer. Then try again. This way, you will know if you have understood the material. Next is review. Now, check your memory by reciting the main points out loud. Then, review the main points in your notes, making sure you understand them. Do quick reviews before and after each class. Do longer, more in-depth reviews before exams. 9. Use your notes. Add to your notes. Supplement the notes you took in class with extra material from the text and handouts. So if nana kay mga notes, then dungagi pa jud. Kung naa pa jud kay makita nga mga main ideas sa imong mga handouts. Then define terms heard in class. So when you hear unfamiliar words in class, write them in your notes as best as you can. Then look them up later. Getting the correct spelling and definition in your notes. So if mag-discuss ang imong instructor, ang imong teacher, so if makadungog kag mga unfamiliar words, take note dayon. After find the meaning. So may meaning kaya ani. So si Google na bahala ana. Then clean up or rewrite your notes. So if tan-aw nimo nga hugaw kaayo ang imuhang ipang take note, so i-rewrite nga mas para masabtan nimo or i-summarize nimo para mas dali siya basahon, mas mubo and mas dali nga masabtan. Number 10, join study group. Okay? So it helps to combine the effort of different minds, increase your storehouse of information, learn new study techniques, and allows you to share notes and information. So, makatabang ni siya para mas more effort na makombine ang ang different mind. So daghan man mag-sharing man og idea. So it can increase your storehouse of information. Learn new study techniques and allows you to share notes and information. So makahatag po kasi ilahag information, no, mga imuhang mga nasabtan, maka-share ka. Okay? So it reinforces learning through discussion, questioning, repetition, and reinforcement. So study groups require the same organization and time management as private study session. So join study group ha. Kung mag-group study gani, mag-group study. Basig lahi po ang ipasa-pasa. Instead nga information, basig baso ang ipasa-pasa. No? So always remember that study, because only studying can change your life. Learn new things and become a person you want to be. And that would be all, and I thank you. Okay, so for this fourth session, mao lang to siya guys. It's all for study habits. So for the what you call this? So I hope so nga you learn something, no? Though gibuhat nato ni siya virtually, but I do hope nga daghan gihapon mo na learn. And then if you have any question, clarification, please approach me. Please ask question in the comment section para ma-answer nako, matubag nako. Okay? So for the activity, PM lang ko sa Messenger. Then please don't forget to sign in to fill out. Fill out niyo ang attendance. So send lang po ako sa GC dato. So see you next meeting, no, sa Google Meet. Please attend mo kay mo na siya ang ato ang maybe last session na nato na siya, next meeting. So please walay mag-absent. So see you. Bye-bye. Thank you.